2020 was set to be a busy and hopeful year. The dark months of January and February were slowly melting away, and March arrived, and with it, plans for the summer. But then, in a moment, international news became a local concern. The world has been united in a pandemic of illness and crisis. By March 25th, 2020, for the majority of people, young and old, life came to a halt as the coronavirus spread through our country and our communities. Unable to leave our homes, a new routine had to be forged, and with it the importance of mental health and personal well-being. This was at the forefront of all of our life experiences. Walking is a major part of my process as both a photographer and more intimately a person. During the lockdown experience, the opportunity to walk alone, lost in my own thoughts, allowed me the time to look and see the world around me. No commute to take or location meeting to be at. My hour's worth of exercise a day was my time. This is where the project Walk the Line has grown from. All around me there are memory markers. These are objects, buildings, signs, geographical points, anything which tells a story of a life long since gone and more importantly long forgotten. These markers are often all around us but are made invisible by their ordinary landscape and appearance. Moving to a small village lends the opportunity to imagine and live the quintessential British village life. A summer fete, the highlight of the village calendar, intertwined with Scarecrow Festival and Christmas light switch on. With major transport links less than half a mile away, Grimsargh seems to be the perfect mixture of tradition and modernity. This is, however, only the surface of a strategically located village, rich in history and endurance. For me, my story began on a simple stretch of pathway called the Railway Walk. I had walked the path hundreds of times since moving to the village 2 years ago, and yet I had never connected with its meanings. However, as I walked, I began to make connections. The path I was walking on was a railway line. Not only this, on exploring further, I found the still existing railway beds, covered by a blanket of grass. Now began my journey of investigation, and what I found was not only a myriad of memory markers and signs of our past, but more importantly the connection we have had to our landscape and how the landscape has shaped our own futures. The Industrial Revolution had made a massive change in British industries and landscapes. Industry was booming and the need for raw materials in high demand. Preston's bedrock of triassic stone meant it was perfect for mining. The ashlar stone of Longridge became the foundation of many northwest buildings, highlighting the might and the grandeur of the Victorians and the British Empire. The only way to move the stone from the quarries in Longridge was by rail, and in the 1940s the Longridge to Preston Railway was opened. Before steam, gravity and horses moved the stone the 6.5 miles from the quarries in Longridge, through Grimsargh, Ribbleton, to Deepdale Station, where it was then moved to Preston and transported to various parts of the northwest. Gravity moved the stone as far as Ribbleton, and horses would pull the wagons the remaining 2 miles. These horses would then pull the wagons all the way back to Longridge to the quarries to begin the process again. Around 1850, steam came to the Ribble Valley and the industrial process became more efficient and far quicker. By the 1920s, Longridge was a booming mill and quarry town. Grimsargh is a small village that stands at the gateway to the Ribble Valley. Grimsargh station opened for passengers, and a new generation of people began to travel from rural communities to the town. The train line connected the villages to the booming industrial north of the 18th century. Later, the railway connected people to Redscar Industrial Estate and Coulthards, a local businesses who employed over 2,000 people. By 1967, the bus had replaced the trains, Grimsargh station had closed, and by 1980 Coulthards had also closed. On the 5th of February 1980, the last Gus train used the line for the final time. Now with direct links to major motorway routes, this strategically located village is rich in history and endurance. The Guild Wheel is a 21-mile cycle route developed to celebrate the 2012 Preston Guild, the only guild still celebrated in the country and has been since its inception in 1179. This path runs through Grimsargh and uses much of the Longridge to Preston railway routes. Interestingly, the Preston Guild Tramway is planning to reconnect rural communities with the city centre, using the pathway of the railway line of the early 19th century and the technology of the 21st. The line ended in Preston, and from there the Longridge Stone moved throughout the northwest. Blackpool Town Hall, Bolton Town Hall, Liverpool and Fleetwood Docks, Fulwood Barracks and Preston train station, all built with Longridge stone. For Preston, the most important landmark was the building of the Harris Museum. Its Grade 1 listed pedigree stands testament to the city's vigorous heritage. Yet it's the journey from a small rural village that has left its scar on the landscape, the memory markers of the lives that helped to build a town that is now a city. The line survived less than 150 years, and yet its effects have stood the test of time. It shows we are as connected to our past as we are to our future.